but you have the opportunity going home with your lunch. Lunch will be served, and I can see that it's going to be a packed lunch. What we could call a takeaway lunch. The Honorable Commissioner, sir, the DG of NESCO, all the various distinguished officials that are here, supporters and international partners, our sponsors, distinguished participants, lecturers, panelists, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are going into the very first lecture of the day, and these will be handled by someone that you can call an authority when it comes to talking about environment. A foremost chemists and environmental experts, distinguished in his professional calling. I must say that our first lecturer today is an international acknowledged expert in environmental management issues, especially in developing countries. Anytime you listen to him, you will have him being around the person. It's always a delight when you can tell he is well acknowledged. He's a distinguished professor of chemistry and, by the special grace of God, a professor emeritus. We're indeed very glad to have with us to handle the very first lecture of today, from trash and treasure, building a sustainable e-waste recycling ecosystem in our state, Edo State. Ladies and gentlemen, lands and tourism, begging to be called the nicest recognition to this man of knowledge, who referred to as a laboratory energy when we talk about environment. Emeritus Professor Alo Babajide. Please, a beautiful round of applause for him.
I want to start, well, good afternoon, say, apart from the fact that it also affect the chemical cycle, but most times when they throw those things out, throw them on the ground, and then project starts. So, emphasize. But the only thing I want to further emphasize here is that PVC, plastics, planets are also
very much, Emeritus Professor. What else do you expect from a man who actually is familiar with the environment? And when they step out for lectures like this, when you hear finally, know that they are not there yet. There will be another finally, and yet another finally, and then you hear a conclusion. One time, let's put it together for Professor Emeritus Along. Thank you very much indeed. For a multitude of such a workshop, international pass and connection is needed. Just before we bring in our second lecturer for today, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure in Ogun State, Engineer Adebowale Akisoya. They've been represented here today by Mrs. Oladuni Adetomo, the Director of Administration and Schools. Thank you very much for being here. Yes, Emeritus Professor actually stated it clearly. Lagos is doing well, but Ogun State is far, far ahead. And this is the place to go because we are getting it right. Thank you very much, sir. We're getting it right, and that's why the international concerns are saying in that state that is getting it right, we must be there. Therefore, taking us through today, but today is not like that. And just like he said, uh, when GSM came, it came with Nokia and Samsung. But now you have Infinix, you have iPhone, you have Redmi, and the likes. And if you must keep in touch, you must also make sure that you take the latest. If you want to show and you want to tell them that yes, you are in there, especially if you want to catch them, you know what I mean? Just flash it. And of course, readily, you're on your way expressway. Thank you very much. That's on a lighter mood, and we also need that aspect of this workshop. At this point, we want to quickly have what we call the practical experience, and we have two speakers here. Each person will have about 7 minutes, maximum 10 minutes each, making 20 minutes because we want to go into the question and answer session. We'll be loaded with emeritus professor Unido. We all this point, let's welcome Hinkley and that's Daniel Osai. We also have 7.5 minutes. That's 10. Thank you.
Greetings to the distinguished professors and also to all other dignitaries here from various government organizations. My name is Sai Daniel Zuma, and I am representing the CEO of Hinkley E-Waste Recycling, Mr. Adrian Clews, who unfortunately cannot make it to this event. So I will be taking the presentation, Chemical Handling in E-Waste Recycling. Recycling, back in my days in the university, I had the privilege to have a degree in aquatic biology, and I did a thesis in plastic pollution in the environment. And now, looking back years later, I'm here talking about e-waste recycling. I didn't imagine this would happen, but I've come to realize something. Recycling, no matter the stream, is important. And now we'll be doing There is a common misunderstanding we have. Most people simplify chemical handling and they misinterpret it to just using chemicals, cycling. But in reality, chemical handling refers to safefication, storage, meant use, it's meant disposal of hazardous chemicals and also chemical containing materials that are found in electronic waste across various stages: collection, dismantling, recycling, refurbishment, or even disposal operations. This is the full grasp of what we mean by chemical handling. In this process of chemical handling, we have some hazardous components. All of these have been mentioned, so I wouldn't take much time. We have the lithium-ion batteries, we have lead, we have mercury, we have brominated flame retardants. All of these are some of the hazardous components in e-waste. Where do these chemicals appear operational? At the dismantling stage, storage, transport, and also processing, especially in the informal sector. Can we have a practical chemical handling? There are multiple stages. Let's take from collection and segregation. We have various e-waste streams, so we should separate battery and PCBs and not mix all these various e-waste streams together. The next is storage. Fire-safe storage for lithium batteries. Anyone who knows lithium batteries knows that one thing associated with lithium is fire. So we have to store these batteries in a fire-safe storage facility and make sure that they are ventilated and they are also labeled contaminant. The next is transport. There's a UN compliant package, especially for lithium. This needs to be followed, and also clear manifesting packing. Now we have processing and governance. For processing, the best practice are no open burning. We see this in some places in Nigeria. If you walk around Lagos, around you're going to Owode and other areas, you see this open burning. No uncontrolled acid use. In Lagos, at Otigba, you see this happening. Control at the early stage is cheaper than remediation at the end. Control at the early stage is the best and is the cheapest. We have the roles of government and policy. From our experience in the e-waste recycling sector, we have brought out these roles for the government and also policy. One is enforcement of standards, not just policy creation. They have to be enforced. Tax relief and import control for former recyclers. As a former recycler, I would say this is very important for us former recyclers to continue in this sector. Extended producer responsibility. This has been talked about. Everyone has talked about this. Even at Abuja, when we had the conference with the EU, this was talked about, the need for OEM accountability monitoring and compliance system. Can we build partnership? Yes. The government, the academia, international recyclers, we can build partnership in these ways. What are some actionable recommendations? Standardize collection and segregation at the source. Incentivize formal recycling infrastructure. Regulate lithium battery handling, and also integrate the formal system integrate the informal sector into the formal system. At Hinkley, how have we done that? First of all, what do we do at Hinkley? We provide high quality e-waste disposal service. Our impact, we're the first registered e-waste recycler in Nigeria. We work with the Ministry of Environment, NESRA, and also OGEPA. Our operation does not just stop in Nigeria. We cover the whole of West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and Morocco. Our mission is to formalize the informal waste collection. We are targeting pavement collectors by the year 2030. These are strategic partnerships we've had in Ogun State with Ogun Invest, Ogun State government, and also different organizations. If you look at the pictures, that's my CEO, Mr. Adrian, with the MD of Ogun. Also see His Excellency also in this picture. We've had various partnerships, and what did they lead to? If you look at the side, it says the UK plans a 5 million lithium battery recycling plant in Ogun State. This location is at Igbesa, very close by, and we are planning a full-scale lithium battery recycling. We want all the lithium battery in Ogun State and its environs to be brought to our facility. Let us recycle in a way that is safe for the environment. If you at the next slide here, these are some of our partnerships we have with Manufacturing Africa and the environmental impact that will result from this project. They will stop lead poisoning, because apart from the lithium battery, we are also planning a lead recycling plant. So it is not just lithium, it is lithium and lead. So all of these are the processes, and these are what Hinkley has done and what we're planning to do. The lithium battery plant, the construction has started, or in the next 18 months, we can say that Ogun State will have the first lithium battery plant in Nigeria, in West Africa, at an international standard. And this is just the beginning of something more to come. But let's look at this opportunity. All of us here know e-waste is not Nigeria's burden. It is Nigeria's opportunity. The difference between waste and wealth is the process. Thank you.
Very much. Talking about the opportunities, you have the two W's, wastes and wealth. And that means you must start to think how you turn your waste to wealth. Thank you very much indeed. Now, we have the next 10 minutes for our question and answer. We've heard from England, we've heard from Entera, we've heard from Emeritus Professor, we've heard from UNIDO, and it is time to fire your questions at them. I'm sure they have their bulletproofs, so that bullets will not penetrate too much. So if you have questions, you can do that by the raise of hands. The microphone will get to you quickly. Let's leave out all the protocols. Let's leave out all the stories. Let's leave out all the history. Just your name, your question. Yes, so we pick our numbers so that we make it very snappy. One, Bells is raising their hands. Any other person? Any other person in the hall? Number two and number four. So that will be all. Oh, right, let's make it five, because we are entering into the month of November, and that's month five. So we have 5 questions. Quickly, please, number one, can you come forward? Quickly, once I call you because of the camera. Quickly. Thank you very much. And please, don't tie your questions too long. That will help us here this afternoon. Number two quickly. Number two quickly, sir. Let's stay with our rules. This is Nigeria. Once we set our rules, we stay with the rules. Thank you very much, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. Because if we start to give others, if we give one and we don't give two, that will be partiality. So let's stay on one question. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Jidebola Jismuki. The workshop, especially the last two speakers, I was expecting a practical way. I mean, it's a playlist video on how their factories look like. What are the equipment they use? We should know, and they should, tell us with the cost effectives. Maybe there could be 2 or 3 of us here that may go into it. But it is all theory, right from beginning to the end. I think my question is that why can't the workshop, especially the last two ones, show us practically how they dismantle, which equipment they use, and the cost effect, the minimum cost effect it can take, so that a lot of us can go into it. But it is all eating.
All right.
They should make it open.
Thank you very much. Hello, house. Hello. I'm sure you know that my brother is not hungry. He's just been passionate about that question. And I think I support you. Don't worry, they are going to answer your questions. Oh. They are going to answer your question. Let's take number 3. Because I can see everyone say, no, he's just been passionate about that question.
Thank you very much. I'm Oishi Solomon from Rock Mines. Question goes to the last. Okay, I'm Solomon from Rock Mines. Now, our speakers, they talk about their processes, but they fail to mention what are the processes to manage the impact on the water quality. Because they talk about the use of hydrometallurgical processes to handle their waste. Now, what is the impact? What would likely be their impact to treat those impact on the water bodies, on the aquatic life? Because they'll be using chemicals. And all of us know that in companies that use chemicals, there's always impact on the waste waters. So how will they treat the waste waters? Because they fail to measure those parts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I love the questions that are coming out. Number 4. You missed out of your number. Number 4. Where is number 4? Okay, number 5. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm Adeni from Miro Global. So I would like to ask something. What is the government doing or can do to help us set up?
Okay. Thank you very much. We ask for. Okay, you want to now take number 4. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sunday Olagbede from Better Class BMC. Please, I want to find out how do they handle the clayable part of e-waste? What happens to the non-recyclable part during the process? Thank you.
So, all our, I don't even know where to direct this. But I know that Extera had someone who was supposed to have their presentation. Maybe the CEO will allow that person to answer that question so that they can give a practical aspect to the question. Or you want to? All right. Dr. Mfeyi, thank you.
Thank you very much, Adaya. I like the fire that I am seeing in the eyes of some of the question givers here. I love it. That is why outside, downstairs, you will see a 10-ton data destruction truck that I brought from Lagos in order to support quarterly, every 6 months, every year, every month, every year, actually reviewing all of your systems at your material recovery facility. So that is a way of tightening the noose on ourselves, on our systems, to make sure that everything, including the impact on the international water bodies, are tracked at the material recovery facility that is located at Abulado Festac and other parts, and we recycling site at Shagamu, Ogun State is going to adopt the same system. But what we are doing is we have a system of policing ourselves with the relevant government parastatals as well, reporting to them, to the OGEPA, to the LACEPA, to the NESRIA, to the Basel Convention itself. So we are working in unison with relevant stakeholders. We cannot work alone, so we work in tandem with everyone in particular. Thank you.
Thank you. Osai? Yeah. Maybe you talk about the non-recycling.
On the non-recyclables, so there are different types of e-waste streams. So it depends on the you're talking about. I think we have for Pronier. So there's a waste stream from plastic. Yes. So in Nigeria now, there is actually no way to recycle ABS. So what did we do? EPRON, in cooperation with EPRON, were to get an off-taker. So for those that ABS that we could not recycle, we have an off-taker who off from us here in Nigeria and treat the ABS in Asia. So that what we do for plastics or e-waste streams that cannot be recycled here. And the first question on water bodies. So currently, that does not affect us now because we're not doing anything to water body. But because of this project, the lithium battery and the lead acid, we're currently working with the University of Birmingham and also a known metal smelting operator in Australia. All of these are being put in process so that by the time our lithium battery facility becomes operational at Asia, we would not have this issue of contamination into the water bodies because there is a way this can be treated, there is a way this can be stopped. The practical, the workshop. Okay, so on our website, www.hinkleyrecycling.com, there are videos available to the entire public in Nigeria. You can go there, we have data destruction services. You can see how the shredders are able to destroy any your hard drive or whatever you want to destroy. So we have those on the website, and sorry on my part for not including the video, or if you want the video, you can check our website, hinkleyrecycling.com. You would see as much information as necessary. And we are also being regulated by international bodies, so all of these requirements, we are compliant.
Thank you very much. I'd like you to give us the website address one more time so that it won't be like my friend the other time. www.ogatop. That's it. Yes, come on.
www.hinkleyrecycling.com.
All right, thank you. You can drop the information with the secretariat. They will project it out. I thought Dr. Osuji has gone when the questions started coming in, but yes, true, so that he will be able to answer our questions appropriately. Dr. Osuji, you have the microphone now. much. Emeritus Professor, before the Honorable Commissioner will now wrap it up. Thank you, sir. Prof, you can use your professor to help us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. And now the Honorable Commissioner representing the government. I'm sure all those who ask questions are satisfied with the responses that you've had here this afternoon. Thank you very much. Quickly, we'll move straight to our panel discussion. And we just want to set our panelists on, take their seats, and then invite the moderator to help us out in just 30 minutes. This aspect. Let me first invite from the E-Waste Producers Responsibility Organization of Nigeria, Ogun, Mrs. Fali. Please a round of applause for her. Next, IHS Nigeria Union. IHS, you have the representative. I'm so sorry. Yes. No, I was looking at you. You just looked at her and you, you know, you have to be quiet. Right, that's a balanced city. Next, the representative from Italy. Thank you. Please let's encourage them with our applause. They're also doing their come here. Yeah, come here, come here, come here, come here. Representative from eTerra Technologies Limited, who is standing in for you. Organa, only you today. Aha, thank you very much. Let's listen to some of the hands that you have trained to. And from Switzerland to France, back to Nigeria. And to serve as our moderator is someone who is readily inclined aspect. Mrs. Ike Olokode, please a round of applause for her. Thank you very much. Mrs. Olokode is the Director Admin and Operations from Safety Plus. We are happy to have her.
Thank you all for being here today. We have just 30 minutes. Just go right to questions, requests, and topics. So, all we have heard today is about e-waste challenge. It's also, please we could say this, that it's also next green jobs engine. What we see as a challenge is actually states next green jobs engine. So on that note, just sit right now. What okay, so from your seats right now, what's the number one dangerous myth about e-waste in Ogun? To kill today, that we need to kill today. Do you understand that question? Okay, so I'll start from HS.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, distinguished guests in the room. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. My name is Olatunji Oladipo, and I'm the Associate Director for Health, Safety and Environment, IHS Towers Nigeria. So IHS Towers is the owner and the operator of independent telecom infrastructure. We have over 16,000 towers across Nigeria. Those are the masts that you see around your community. And we're a very strong player, and we're very concerned
Thank you very much. So we'll go on to the next that has to do with safety and compliance. And I'm going to direct this to the regulator and the recycling industry. So for those of us that represent that, we can answer the question. What chemical exposure risk keeps you up at night?
The first one is the respiratory aspect of
at all the things we've been here today, we see that there must be an economic model to facilitate all of these things in terms of take back, recycling, collection, and whatever. So having tried to build the right framework over the years, we are at that point where we need the finances now to implement a lot of these programs that we've set up to do for this sector. So getting that financing in place is one of the major deterrents that we have. So we have a situation where we are registered recyclers that expect to be paid to recycle the e-waste. We have informal collectors and even consumers that expect to be paid for the e-waste that they want to give up. Like, yeah, you want to give up and you want to take back from them. So balancing that with the scarce producer fees, because our model is to collect the fees from producers and then use it to finance the process. So balancing the needs of both parties with the little fees that we have is where we have the challenge, and so we're still trying to work it out to get to the point where we can really facilitate that process as a show. Thank you very much. So we're going on to ask questions about opportunity and innovation. Academia wants us here? No, because this is the question for the academia. Okay, so okay, all right. So let's go. Lab to market tech. Can this actually be piloted in 12 months? Do you yes, that the lab to the market research as it were, right? Tech. Can we have a pilot in 12 months? Is it possible? It will depend on what you're piloting. So I don't think it's a one cap fits all for each. So for instance now, if you decide that you want to create a solution for maybe cathode ray tubes, you may need a lot more time to do the kind of research because you probably want to do something that is practical to on environment, in terms of managing. So it may be challenging to really do that. If you're following up something that is already existing now, you want to just replicate it here, it may be easier for you. And like I said, it also depends on the product. Some products are very straightforward to manage. If for instance you was talking about not being able to recycle ABX earlier, if you decide that okay, for these ABX solutions, we want to find practical solutions of how to manage ABX and use it into products in Nigeria, you may be able to do that in 12 months, depending on what technological solutions you want to employ. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next question is about funding. Let's say you've had 50 million naira to start. What model gets to be used with this funding? This question again. Okay, so I said if we had 50 million to fund a particular e-waste startup, what model gets to fit into this?
Let me use this study for example. We already have a cattle routine machines
addition to that, I think especially in terms of our awareness and working with regulators, we have existing policies, regulations, and even standards on the industry practices. We have a national industrial standard for management of end of life electronic equipment. What we see that the domestication of those standards cannot bear
I thank you for your support. Today we are taking steps toward the sound e-waste management in the state. And looking forward, we need your cooperation. Once again, thank you for your presence and support. God bless you all.
Thank you, everybody. It's time to